Gentlemen, Jim O'Hara. Jim will start with our strike force representative from alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, Frank Atwood. Dick Mills, Immigration, Naturalization. Marv Davis and Lynn Cook from Justice Department. Harry Green, BNDD. Lee Butler, U.S. Customs. Jeff Leeds, Department of Labor. Freddie Marshall, U.S. Postal Service. And Larry Pike, Secret Service. Our representative from IRS Audit Division, Irv Mayer. From our Photographic Division, Jack Sue. Well, that's a team, Jim, except for our quarterback, our strike force attorney, George Landy.
Mr. Landy?
Sit down. We'll show you what you're up against. Okay, Jack.
Mike Albin.
Mr. Organized Crime.
He hasn't been in the news much since he made that power play in New York City and almost started a war.
Well, the best information we have is that the High Commission made a deal with him. If he'd move out of New York to some approved place, he'd be guaranteed no competition. We brought his whole operation to Lauren.
So now he's a restaurateur.
That's where his office is. Information developed by these gentlemen indicates that it's from here he controls most of the rackets in the state. He's suspected of involvement in bookmaking, numbers, loan sharking, forgery of government securities, labor racketeering, smuggling, drugs, use of mails to defraud, even gun running. To say nothing of graft and payoffs, it looks like he squeezes out of the city of Lauren itself. Now, there's evidence that with the help of this man, Vic Dondine, Albin's trusted lieutenant, a vicious campaign of corruption was initiated in Lauren.
Mike Albin's sister, Mrs. Jacqueline Wells. Up to 5 years ago, she was deeply involved in his activities. Smart and cunning. Her specialty was the disposal of stolen or counterfeit bonds. She's disappeared, and we've been unable to find any trace of her.
He poured money into the next political campaign and got 3 city councilmen elected. They've never yet voted against any of his interests. They were instrumental in getting this next man. This is Virgil Knapp, appointed chief of police. An inquiry showed that Knapp had once been friendly with Albin's crime family back in New York. It wasn't long before Knapp got his own men into key positions in the Lauren police force. Clayton Phelps, Lauren's mayor, he saw how the facts of life were shaping up and made his own deal with Albin.
That's a change of pace.
They seem to be dedicated, honest men, and the only real opposition to Albin. That's just how long they can withstand his brand of pressure remains to be seen. And this, we suspect, is an example of that pressure.
Somebody who got in his way?
He was later identified as a state undercover agent trying to infiltrate the police department. Jim, we think we have a rare opportunity to try to get a man duped into Albin's operation.
In the police department?
No. It could be a chance to tie Albin to millions of dollars of illegal racket income he doesn't pay taxes on.
We have a man suspected of controlling the illicit drug traffic, loan sharking, forgery, smuggling, gun running, all kinds of graft, even murder. He's so well insulated, the only thing we can get him on is tax fraud.
Well, as long as we can get him. Excuse me. Yes. Fine, Judy. Give us a minute. Take a break, fellas. Our guest is here. Well, right on time.
I was afraid I wouldn't be. Had to be a little sneaky, you know. It wouldn't do for me to be seen coming into a federal building. Just a little headache.
I believe you know Mr. Donaldson, and this is Special Agent Jim O'Hara. This is Laura Albin.
How do you do?
That's right. Wife of the notorious gangster Mike Albin. Fine, Mr. Landy. He'll do just fine. I had a cousin named Dave Long. Remember that name, Dave Long. He was a bagman for Mike until he took a fall for the organization.
What kind of a fall?
He spent 5 years in the joint for somebody else.
Who?
Dave was with my husband on a trip to Chicago when Mike got drunk and tried to beat a guy to death with a bottle. Dave said he did it. Anyway, Mike owed him a big favor.
You keep using the past tense.
Dave Long died last week in prison. Heart attack. I can collect that favor in my cousin's name, Mr. O'Hara. It can be cashed in by you.
Now go on.
Well, I used to go visit Dave in prison. During those 5 years, there was only one other person who went to see him, Pete Fryman. He was a friend that David picked up before he started working for Mike. He heard Dave got busted and started visiting him. He was Dave's regular contact with the outside world. Earned his friendship and the promise of a job with the organization when Dave got out.
Have you met this Pete Fryman yourself?
Many times. I can pass you off in his place, Mr. O'Hara.
But what if someone else knows him, too? Someone who works for your husband?
Impossible. I made him up. Well, you believed me, didn't you? And so did my husband. I didn't come here unprepared, Mr. O'Hara. My cousin's death presented me with an opportunity, and I simply took advantage of it.
You said your husband agreed to give your Pete Fryman a job.
Men like my husband have their brand of honor, too. His word to my cousin was as good as a certified check. On the strength of my word, he's accepted Pete Fryman as the heir to that obligation. Not only will he give him a job, he insists that he stay at our home while he's being processed. Well, I am his wife, you know. Have been for 25 years. It would never occur to Mike to question my motives.
You mind if I do?
Why do I want Mike to take a fall? Well, my reasons are my own, Mr. O'Hara. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
Oh, I have here everything you'll need to know about my cousin and his friend. Start getting used to the name Pete Fryman and be on the 3 o'clock bus into Lauren. I'll meet you at the bus station.
Well, she could be a little squirrely.
Well, nobody's pushing, Jim. It's up to you.
I already told the lady that I'd accept. Besides, it's against the law to shoot a federal officer. Isn't it?
Gotcha. Sweet victory in the 7th. What do you have?
Tap it.
Johnny's Promise in the 8th? Yeah, I gotcha. What? Oh, the Daily Double.
Yeah, my name's Brown. I ain't seen you around here before.
It's probably because I haven't been around here before.
Oh, now, that's a very clever retort. Very, very clever.
Excuse me.
I was talking to you.
Pete? Pete Fryman.
Robert?
Hello, Herm. This is Pete Fryman, a friend of Dave's.
Sorry,
Herm Brown.
I didn't know.
My car's outside.
Sure. Sorry to hear about Dave. Nice to have met you, Mr. Fryman.
Fellas. Hello, darling.
Laura, didn't Jean tell you I was...
Of course, but you said you wanted to meet Pete as soon as he got in.
Oh, sure. I'm glad to meet you.
My pleasure.
Hey, I'm sorry you caught us at a bad time. Vic, take care of him, will you? We'll chat later. Dave's friend, Pete Fryman. I talked to you about him. Vic Dundeen.
And this is Clayton Phelps, our mayor, Pete
Hi.
Fryman.
My pleasure, Peter.
Laura, we're in conference.
And this is Ray Auburn, city attorney, and Glenn Radford, head of the planning commission.
Vic. Go on, Fryman, follow me.
Do something about his wardrobe, will you, Vic?
Hi, I'm Pete Fryman.
Oh, of course. I'm Jean Hauser. Oh, we were terribly sorry to hear about your friend Dave. I didn't know him myself. He left before I started working here, but
Come on, Fryman. We got a lot to do.
Maybe I'll see you again.
nice meeting you.
Jean, I wanted to talk to you about the party. I'll see you at home, Pete. Take Vic a while to get you settled. And Jean, I think I'll have you come out to the house and help me get things organized. I want the restaurant to cater the food.
Oh, you're a buddy of Dave's, huh? Funny, I never heard him mention it.
No reason to. I've been in Mexico for the last several years. Talked about you.
Oh, what'd he say?
Well, Mr. Albin's #1 expediter and bad news.
Well, he can mix it up pretty good himself. Did he tell you why he was in the joint?
Felonious assault.
Yeah, well, that's a matter of public record. You know, anybody could find that out.
You got something to say, say
He
it.
was supposed to be his close friend.
I was his only friend for the last couple of years because none of his buddies around here
Yeah,
bothered.
okay. It just seems to me he'd tell his only friend the real reason he was in.
Wouldn't expect him to come right out and say it, would you?
Yeah, meaning you don't know.
Meaning I can put it together.
And come up with what?
Chicago, a bottle fight. Mr. Albin, okay? Any other little details you want to check?
Nothing we can't find out through the police department. Oh, didn't Dave tell you? Anyone who works for Mike comes here first. Andy Gorell, Pete Fryman. He's going to work for Mr. Albin, so give him the treatment. I'll be back in a few minutes. I gotta go over to City Hall.
Pete Fryman, huh?
That's what the man said.
Funny. You're a dead ringer for a fella I met in New Mexico once. Went down there to pick up this prisoner from this treasury agent. Fella had an Irish name. Something like O'Hara. Funny, isn't it, Mr. Fryman? How many lookalikes there are in this world? Well, right here in Aloran, we got a guy who looks over here. We got a guy who looks exactly like Joseph Stalin. I mean, exactly. Of course, old Joe's dead. And there's no way this fella could be him. Any more than a fella working for Mike Albin could be a treasury agent. Right?
Makes sense.
Any idea what you'd be doing for Mr. Albin?
Not yet.
Hold it. Profile, please. Ever see a police department like this one before?
What's so different about this one?
You're kidding.
I haven't seen enough to make an evaluation.
Well, it's different, all right. Different than 99% of the departments in this country. If they were all like this one, we might as well turn the White House over to the organization. Hold it. We're not all crooked, Mr. O'Hara. I'd like to help. I'm in the phone book. Andy Gorell. 2 R's and 1 L. Right on time, Vic. Here's these papers. I'll tell the chief you're ready to talk to.
By the way, watch what you say around that guy.
No?
You never trust a man who won't take a little payoff.
Raise your right hand. Consider yourself sworn in. You are now a reserve police officer of the city of Loren. You sure you haven't got a record, Fryman?
What does it say then?
Wouldn't do for some reformer to find out we gave a gun permit to an ex-con. Now, would it? Against the law, you know.
I know.
So if that is the case, you better tell us right now. We're going to find out everything about you anyway. Routine check.
Will that be all, Mr. Dundee?
Bill it to Mr. Albin.
Yes, sir.
Did the double nits come in yet?
Sorry, Mr. Hellman, not yet. Probably Friday.
How are you, Councilman?
Will you give me a call then, please?
Oh, yes, sir.
Mr. Hellman, aren't you even going to say hello?
We don't have anything to say to each other.
I'll wrap these for you.
Who's the fan club?
City Councilman Hellman, a reformer. There's 2 of them, Hellman and Saranac. They've been out to get Mike. Vote against anything we want. So far, it's no problem. We own the other 3.
That's handy.
And if push comes to shove, we can get Hellman's vote, too.
Now, how are you going to do that?
He doesn't know it, but his 19-year-old daughter's got a $50 a day heroin habit. Oh, sure, we saw that she made contact with the right people at the right time. You know, a little pill and the drink for starters. Now she's got a little freelancing going on the side. So all the boss has to do is say the word, she gets busted for prostitution. But wouldn't that be embarrassing for Councilman Hellman?
Someplace, huh?
Yeah, it's even got a full slate bed pool table in the basement. You shoot pool?
And not like David.
Yeah, he was pretty good at 8-ball.
I thought his game was 9.
I guess you're right.
Fella could learn to call this home.
Yeah, well, don't let it go to your head. Just don't forget why you're here.
Feeling if I do, you'll remind me.
Being Dave's buddy buys you a chance, that's all. The rest is up to you. You cut it or you don't, like everybody else. You're not the first dude to take up residence in here, you know.
Huh?
No, you're nothing special, Pete, baby. Every new candidate gets the Goldfish Bowl. This ain't no candy store operation, you know.
Maybe there's some house rules I should know about.
You already broke one. House rule number 1. No cozy conversation with the boss's secretary.
Gene Hauser?
That's what I mean. You haven't even been here long enough to know her name.
She's something special. Huh?
Well, let's just say she handles a lot of the boss's confidential matters. And he figures one person at a time knowing his business is enough.
That's fair enough.
That's the boss's sister. She died 5 years ago.
It only rings on intercom, Bubba, so it's all right to answer it. I just wouldn't try to make any outside calls.
Mrs. Alban?
Look, as long as we're sharing the same address, try Laura.
That doesn't break a house rule.
I make the house rules in the house. So come on downstairs. I'll buy you a drink. That's better. You look gorgeous. Well, Jean, darling, I believe you two know each other.
Oh, yes, Dave's friend, Mr. Fryman.
Miss Hauser?
Now it's time to put this away. We can finish up later.
Right, well, I'll have to get back to the office.
Oh, no, you're going to join us for one little drinky. Pete, be a doll and freshen that for Laura. Gin.
Really, Mrs. Alban, I should...
The same?
A vodka, please.
It's funny, I thought we drank the same thing. You sure make a handsome bartender, Pete. Only in this case, I think the man makes the clothes. Don't you think so, Jeannie? Oh, I forgot to tell Anna something. I'll be right back. You two go right ahead.
Who's Anna?
The cook. She could have used the phone. You wouldn't believe the fantastic intercom system in this house.
Why didn't she?
She's playing matchmaker.
Doesn't she know that a pretty girl like you doesn't need an agent?
No, I guess you wouldn't know about that, would you?
Well, I got scolded for talking to you in the office today. Does it have something to do with that?
On the nose, Fryman. You're a decoy. A handsome younger man might take my mind off Mr. Alban. Assuming that's where it is in the first place.
Is it?
But Mr. Alban doesn't keep regular office hours. He could come home at any time. I think I'll do us both a favor and leave. I'll say this. Laura's taste is improving. She didn't do badly this time. Ciao.
I think the cook is in the kitchen.
Well, what's wrong? I just thought you and Jean would
With what?
hit it off, that's all.
Is that why you called the strike force, to find a playmate for little Jean?
Of course not.
You Don't need a team man for that. You get a bartender. He could play the part just as well.
Relax, will you? Refusing to mix a little pleasure with business can make Jack a dull boy. I'm not such an ugly old bag, am I?
Mrs. Owen.
Laura. You really are a Boy Scout, aren't you?
That's not why I came here.
Well, maybe you'll have to get used to it.
Sorry.
Oh, you can't leave.
Just watch me.
Oh, wait, I didn't lie to you. I can help you. I will. Please, please don't go. I've waited too long to... Oh.
What were you trying to do, Laura? Ruin my reputation as a doctor?
Nothing was farther from my mind.
Yeah, I'll venture to say. I'm going to leave some of these with you, so you won't run out. Laura, I'm going to tell you again. I know you're tired of hearing it, but you cannot drink. Your liver just won't take any more of it.
And what if I quit? Will it save my life?
It can prolong it.
How long, Sam? 1 month? 6? 12?
If you'll just take care of yourself, you may still have a few good months.
Good ones, Sam. Now, if you can just guarantee there'll be good ones.
I'll guarantee you this. A few more bouts with the bottle and there won't be any months, good or bad. She tries. I know she does. But she just can't leave the stuff alone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overstay my welcome. Look, don't go. See it through. It'll be worth your while, I promise. I can prove that my husband's illegal income has been over $5 million a year for the past 3 years. I've kept a diary. I've written down every dollar, where it came from and where it went. Every payoff, every bribe, who got it and why.
You've had that information all this time?
Ever since I first found out that little broad was more than just his secretary.
And my drinking partner.
Sorry about that. I thought how nice it would be if, before my beloved husband took his fall, the light of his life got turned off. It won't happen again.
What is the diary?
It's safe, with a close friend.
Oh, when can I see it?
On the 16th.
That's over 2 weeks away.
Try to understand. Mike can get what? 5 years in every tax fraud count? My diary can give you 3 counts. That's 15 years. It's not enough. I want to see him crumble and fall off his own ladder. I want to see him bounce off every rung on the way down. I want the organization to spit on him. There's only one way of doing that. One way to make sure the organization will never do business with him again. And that'll be good for you, too. The federal government could finally stamp closed on Mike Albin's file. It can only happen on the 16th. And while you're waiting, I see to it that you get a good view of what goes on inside the organization. Some eyewitness stuff you can use. And I'll behave. At least I'll try. You know what I caught that little broad doing?
What?
Caught her in my closet trying on my clothes. I'm not even dead yet.
Got a message for you from the boss, Fryman.
Tell him thanks for inquiring about me.
He wants you to go to this address and pick up a package. Take the brown car in the garage. Deliver the package to him at his office and do it in a hurry.
Keys in the car?
Yep.
The keys are always in my car.
Fill it up.
going?
Unreal.
Trouble?
Yeah, our friend is full of booze, hate, and a terminal illness.
Could be a dangerous combination.
Yeah, so we play all the odds. The cop that booked me took my fingerprints. His name is Gorel. He made me as a treasury agent. Said he met me in New Mexico, but he wants to cooperate.
You believe him?
Well, I'm going to play it on instinct. He may be the one honest cop in a very dishonest police department.
What do you want us to do?
I set up a meeting tonight in the camper. His name's in the phone book.
It's risky.
And so is Laura Albin.
Took you long enough.
I don't know the territory yet.
What are you trying to pull, Fryman?
I'd say offhand, Mr. Albin, you were testing me.
Go home and get some sleep. We'll talk tomorrow.
Well, that was quick. You must have done well. Maybe you'll find a home here yet.
Maybe I don't break any house rules. Decided to take you up on your offer to help.
I was hoping you would, Mr. O'Hara.
With your permission, we'd like to tape this conversation.
Sure. Anything you say.
This conversation with Officer Andrew Gorel of the Loran Police Department. It is February 2nd. The time is 23:40. Present are Special Agents Donaldson and O'Hara on Federal Strike Force assignment. Officer Gorel, tell us about the Loran Police Department. How many would you say are on the tape?
Oh, about 3/4 of them.
What kind of take?
Mostly curbstone justice.
Explain that, please.
Yeah. Can I have a cup of coffee?
Yeah, sure.
You see, most drivers carry a $10 bill folded up behind the driver's license. Now, when they're stopped, they hand the cop the license and the 10. The cop lets the bill fall to the ground, puts his foot on it. And then when the motorist drives away, thank you. When the motorist drives away, puts the money in his pocket.
What would you estimate a monthly take to be?
Let me put it this way. It costs $1,500 under the table to get on the police force. And most of the guys are getting that $1,500 back the first month.
And what about bookmaking and prostitution?
What bookmaking? What prostitution? We've never had a bookmaking arrest. And the only prostitutes we arrest are the amateurs. Now, they either go to work for Albin or they get out of town.
But are you saying the whole department is controlled by Albin?
No. No. You don't have to control everyone. Just the top. Just the people who approve the arrests. And they handle all the records. Everything's got to go through their hands. I hear they got a new batch of treasury bonds. And here's the new passer that Mike Albin just hired. We processed her at the station 3 weeks ago.
You know, man's family is his Achilles heel, Pete. Take mine. My wife, to be specific. Now, you've been around here long enough to see that Laura can be a source of embarrassment to me. That's why her cousin Dave was such a big help. Dave could handle her. Hey, Vic tells me you seem to have a way with her, too. I'll tell you the truth, Pete. I've never found anybody to replace Dave. Nobody's worked out.
Until now. Want me to babysit your wife?
There's more to it than that. Dave was the best bag man I ever had. Hey, the police department check on you came back. Did Vic tell you?
He doesn't tell me much.
Yeah, well, the chief says you're his represented. Even your visits to Dave in prison check out.
The chief is very thorough.
So am I, as you'll see this afternoon. I'm sending you along with Vic for a lesson in city government. What do you want?
Mr. Albin asked me to drop by and see you, Mr. Hellman. He asked me to remind you that he'd appreciate it when you go to the council meeting tonight if you'd vote in favor of the raise for the rubbish contract.
Yes, that's right. Councilman Forbes is out of town. You do need my vote.
Mr. Albin asked me to remind you that it's only $1 per household raise, and it is overdue.
You tell Mr. Albin for me that any issue coming up before the city council that might benefit him in any small way automatically gets a no vote from me.
He was afraid you might feel that way because, Mr. Hellman, you just don't realize all that's involved.
What's that supposed to mean?
Your daughter, Councilman. Now, first I'm going to tell you a little story about her, but you're not going to believe it. So we're all going to go down and pay her a visit.
Daddy? Hello, Mr. Dundeen. Daddy, you promised you'd always call me first. You promised you'd never just drop in. We talked about that when I got my own place, don't you remember? I'm a grown person who needs privacy. I have my rights. You said that yourself. You promised. Why did you bring him here, Mr. Dundeen? You promised me you would never bring him here.
Well, he insisted. Sherry, you know how it is. After all, he is your father.
I just got lost when Mama died.
Why didn't you come to me?
You were busy. You were campaigning. You were... Daddy, please don't be mad at me.
Who did this to you?
Nobody. I don't know. It just happened. I don't know.
Okay, baby. Oh, baby. We'll work it out.
Now, do we get your vote tonight? Or does she get busted every time she sets foot on the street? Now, you know how that'll look in the papers, Councilman.
All right, Coonan.
Are you out of your mind?
Now get out of here.
Who do you think you... Oh, man, you really blew it. You wait till Albin hears about this.
I'll be there in half an hour. Now get out. Here. Come on. You all right?
Who are you?
I want you to listen to me and listen carefully. I'll confirm it all later. My name is Jim O'Hara. I'm with the United States Treasury Department, IRS Intelligence.
Treasury? What are you doing with Vic Dundeen?
Undercover, and I want to keep it that way.
All right. I understand. What can I do?
Is there any way you can vote yes on this rubbish issue tonight without compromising yourself too much?
Well, truth is, I'm not against the raise. It's in order. The trouble is, Mike Albin doesn't know how to handle anything in a legitimate way. It's against his training, I guess his principles. If he wants anything, he comes right away rattling his sword. Places me in a position of having to vote against him or appear to be in his pocket.
Now, your daughter's gonna need all the help she can get. It's gonna be rough, but she's gonna have to want help.
I know.
There's some way we could cut off her supply.
If Albin doesn't make it too easy to get.
And maybe I can convince him to make it a little harder. In fact, impossible.
Impossible. You know how many pushes there are in this state?
Yes, and I know you control them. You let the word get out that the first pusher that sells to Sherry Hellman is on your personal list, it'll happen.
In the first place, where do you get off making a deal like that anyway?
Because your way didn't work. You can push a reformer just so far, then he goes to the press and makes a martyr out of himself. Believe me, Mr. Hellman will sacrifice himself to take you with him.
You were thinking of me.
He'll make this thing into another Pearl Harbor. The one thing you can't afford is for him to shake the public out of its apathy.
Yeah, you were thinking of me. I like that.
Hey, he's going soft, that's what he's doing. He ain't got the stomach for this job, boss. Can't you see that?
I'm interested in results, Vic. Results. Now, I said you get Hellman's vote. However, if we don't get it, I guess you'll just have to do a lot of apologizing.
Mr. Alban, it's your wife.
What about her?
You better hurry.
Come on, fellas. Singing is good for the tummy muscles. All together now. Has anybody here seen O'Hara? O-H-A-R-A. Hey, look who's here. We got enough for a full chorus.
Been looking all over for you.
Do you like Irish songs, too?
You promised to give me a tour of the city. I came to collect you.
Okay. You all know my friend here. You met him, haven't you? My friend, Mr. Pete Fryman. Good-looking devil, isn't he?
Come on. Said you were going to behave.
I said I was gonna try. Hey, you were cool, I'll say that for you. Didn't bat an eye. That Mike. Oh, I thought he was gonna have a stroke. He's so worried about his prestige. Always was. Gotta have respect. It's funny. That's why he first started taking me around. I was a looker then. I really was. I used to stop talk when I came into a room. Mike was proud to have me on his arm then. Long time ago. I was always with him. Right there beside him when all he had was a string of slot machines in the Bronx. Hey, you know, I can still take one apart and put it together again.
What about our tour?
Oh, sure. What do you want to know? What do you want to see first? A factory that's polluting a river? That's what they were talking about in that meeting I just interrupted. There's a bill pending that would force the factory to spend $7.5 million on anti-pollution equipment. But Mayor Phelps says he can get it killed for $50,000 cash, paid hand to hand in the men's room with the water running loud. You mad at me?
You make me a little nervous once in a while.
Don't worry, love. We'll make it to the 16th. 'Cause that little broad's not moving into my house. She's not wearing my clothes. That's Mike's newest passer. Attractive and smart.
Hi. How was the guided tour of the city?
Well, if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Well, maybe you just haven't had the right guide.
You think I missed some points of interest?
Oh, points of interest you never dreamed existed.
Well, I'll keep it in mind for my next vacation.
There's only one tour and the bus is ready to leave.
That's interesting, but sounds like a very dangerous one-way trip. Okay?
Okay.
Mission accomplished.
I appreciate it, Pete. I mean, the way you took matters in hand. That's smart. Now, Laura hasn't got much longer to go, you know? And do me a favor. Keep an eye on her. Keep her happy and out of trouble, okay?
How'd the council vote?
You know, it's funny. It's the first time I ever put the arm on a politician who came out like a good guy. Yeah, after Hellman gave us his vote, he called to ask if what you said was true, you know, about cutting off his daughter's supply. I said I guaranteed it. Well, he was actually crying when he thanked me. How about that?
Now that I don't have to apologize for anything, how about the rest of Dave's job?
Do you know what? Mr. Fryman isn't interested.
Well, maybe you didn't make things clear to him.
Oh, I made things perfectly clear.
Hey, what's the matter? Don't you like beautiful girls?
Not when they belong to the boss.
Is that the only reason?
Is there another reason?
All right, starting tomorrow, you collect all the cash from my books and numbers. You make deliveries to City Hall.
Hey, that's my territory. What about my end?
Sit on it. You've earned a little rest. You'll be on the payroll of the restaurant. That's in case Internal Revenue gets curious.
Good to see you again, Mr. Fryman. If there's anything I can do for you, sir, you will let me know, won't you?
What's the take so far?
In 2 weeks, you've collected $241,653. Not counting this.
You get permission to wire me?
Anytime you think you need it.
It's the 16th, isn't it?
You think Mrs. Alvin will come through?
I think so. She's giving a party tonight. Must be significant.
You mean she's been stalling all this time just for a party?
Keep your dial set to your local news station. Maybe we'll all find out. If you hear me, let me hear along. Give you the guest list. New York, 5F9836. Ohio, Y956R. Illinois, WY7254. I'm very sorry I can't invite you to the party. It's a very exclusive neighborhood.
I'll tell you, I'll never forget it as long as I live.
That was not good.
That reminds me, Charlie, how's your boy?
Just graduated law school.
Wonderful. He's okay. Ned, your daughter?
Oh, running around Europe.
I thought she and Rick were going to get married.
She's more like me. Rick could never handle it.
Oh, fellas, I'd like you to meet a new member of my organization, Pete Fryman. Charlie Foster, Story O'Connor, and Ned Blackman. We got him on the paper route for now. He's okay.
Where's Lauren?
Laura's upstairs getting dressed.
Don Dean, scotch and water?
Vic?
How are things in New York, Mr. Blackman?
You heard of me?
I heard of all of you.
Let's sit down, Mike.
Ned?
Hi, everybody. Hey, Louise, Ruth, Helen. Oh, bags are looking pretty good.
Mrs. Alvin, may I get you something?
Charlie, Ned, and Story, my favorite gangsters.
That's a wonderful getup you got, Laura.
You like it?
Yeah.
Mike won't remember, but this is the way I looked on our first date. Got it out of the trunk special for tonight.
It's different.
Did you all meet Pete? Hey, Pete. Ned the Needle Blackman here is the #1 supplier of smack on the eastern seaboard. Did you know that?
Laura.
What's the matter? We're all family. And Story O'Connor here's got a big hotel restaurant in Chicago, like the Lauren. And he's got every table and every room wired with a hidden microphone. That's how he got his name. He's got a lot of stories to tell about public officials if he ever has to. And Charlie.
Laura, you're not very amusing.
Oh, I'm sure Pete finds it interesting.
Let's have a drink. Okay. Yeah, I can mix anything. Soda and water, water and water, ginger ale and water.
Do you know what day this is, Peter?
It's Monday.
The 16th, lover. The 16th. I made you a promise, remember?
Just take it easy.
The floor show is about to begin. Today for keeping promises, Jeannie Weenie. And I promise you, you will never wear my clothes, or sleep in my bed, or live in my house after I'm dead.
Laura, you're drunk. Now go on upstairs and lie down.
Hey, listen, everybody. Listen. And you shall hear.
Hello, honey? It's Laura. You know that diary you've been holding for me? I want you to send it to Internal Revenue Service, Intelligence Division, care of Special Agent Jim O'Hara. Repeat that back. You got it, honey.
Hey,
Do it
give me
right
that.
away.
Hello.
Has anybody here seen O'Hara?
Laura!
Oh,
What's going on here?
my husband wants to know what's going on. My dear, darling, faithful husband. Well, I'll tell you what's going on, dear, darling, faithful husband. You have just blown it. Oh, how you've blown it. That diary was born the day you first started holding hands with little Miss What's-Her-Name. I copped out, Mike, baby. All the way. But you ain't heard nothing yet, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing. You who are the elite of that honored society known as organized crime. You crummy gangsters will be shocked to learn that your trusted associate, overseer of your many interests in this state, Michael J. Alvin, has been entertaining an enemy spy under this very roof. For the past 2 weeks, Big Boss Mike has been playing gracious host to a United States Treasury agent.
Okay, Charlie. Tom, coming running.
I knew there was something wrong with you.
Take a bow, lover. Let's hear it for Special Agent Jim O'Hara.
Jim, right here.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. You can't hold me on anything. You even haven't read that diary yet.
You're right, Mike. It's going to take us a little while to put the case together. But don't leave town.
Don't let him spook you, Mike.
We'll stick by you, Mike. Best of lawyers, everything.
Sure. What are friends for?
Oh, no. No, you. Can you do anything about some protection?
Why?
Why? Look at him. They only got one problem. Which mechanic gets the contract?
Let's take a walk.
Mike?
Why?
Laura, please don't.
You mean now that it's too late? I finally found someone who cares. Maybe an extra month or two would be kind of nice.
And everything seems in order. All we need is your signature. How's that?
Not bad. A little too glum, maybe. You know, Mr. O'Hara, we bankers may appear cautious, but we are friendly.
I'll remember.
Thanks again, Mr. Williams, for giving up your evening to break Jim in and for letting him take your place at the bank tomorrow.
I'm glad to help. If it's not violating security measures, what makes you think that these stolen bonds are going to show up at our bank?
Not just your bank, Mr. Williams. $10,000 in stolen savings bonds were cashed in San Bernardino today. That's just a guess, but we figure that's only a part of what's being passed. So we're posting agents in all the major banks in the area.
Do you have a description of him, the passer?
Well, he's a she. Blonde, attractive, and charming. But at least that's the description we got from the bank manager in San Bernardino. We missed picking her up by 5 minutes.
If the bonds she cashes are genuine, how do you get involved?
Forgery. It goes like this. She produces a driver's license, birth certificate, insurance papers, other similar identification, but all counterfeit. And when she signs the owner's name to the bond...
We have forgery. If it's a woman, they usually claim the husband's out of town on business. And she's found this perfect house or something like that to buy. They need the money for the down payment.
And, of course, she asks the banker if he can handle the escrow.
It all looks very legitimate.
What are the odds of catching someone like this?
Not bad. If you're in the right place at the right time.
Well, gentlemen, if there's anything else you need...
A little luck, maybe?
I have a feeling that you Secret Service people make your own.
How do you like that? We put Mike Albin away, but his passes are still operating. O'Hara, don't forget your credentials. Good luck, Jim.
Like the man says, we make our own.
$5,000.
Yes, thank you.
If you'll follow me, please, payment has to be approved by the branch manager. Mr. O'Hara, this is Mrs. Chase. She's opening 2 accounts with us, checking and savings. And she has some government bonds she'd like to cash. Thank you, Mrs. Chase.
Thank you. Sit down, Mrs. Chase.
Thank you.
From Baltimore.
Yes, just a week ago.
What brings you to Riverside?
Fish and chips. My husband's starting a franchise. Lord Halibut.
We're going to need his signature on this.
Yes, I know. He would have taken care of all of this himself, but he had to go back for a couple of weeks. And then yesterday, when I found the perfect house, I called him and he said to buy it. Well, most of our money's tied up in the business. And so, unfortunately, it means cashing these. I have my Maryland driver's license and Social Security card and some insurance papers. Tell me, you could handle the escrow here for me, too, couldn't you?
It's an awful lot of business you're throwing our way all at once.
Well, I'm glad to know there's someone like you here to handle it. There won't be any trouble, will there? I mean, about being out of state.
Those are genuine.
Will there be anything else you need?
Just your signature.
Thank you for making this all so painless.
Well, it's just company policy. United States Treasury, Secret Service.
I don't understand. There must be some sort of mistake.
It's already been made. Uttering forged United States savings bonds, a violation of Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 495.
What does all that mean?
As much as 10 years or $10,000 or both. You're under arrest.
You just protected the president and people like that.
It's the job that gets the headlines. And Secret Service is the oldest general law enforcement agency in government. When it was established in 1865, about 1/3 of all the money in circulation was counterfeit. And there's been a noticeable improvement. You sure I can't get you a cup of coffee?
No, thank you.
I'll be right there.
You still handle all the counterfeiting?
And the forgery of all government obligations. That's all.
Sounds like you stay kind of busy.
Yeah, kind of. We had almost 5,000 arrests last year.
Well, at least I've got company.
That's the way you want to look at it.
Tell me, how did you know I was going to that bank?
Oh, we didn't. I had a description of you from the San Bernardino area you worked the day before when you were spotted in Riverside. They were agents on duty at all the major banks. Doug, this is Louise Hall. Doug Miller, our special agent in charge of the Los Angeles office.
Miss Hall?
I suppose I should say it's a pleasure, Mr. Miller. But under the circumstances.
We may be more aware of the circumstances than you think, Miss Hall. Please sit down. Are you sure you don't want an attorney present?
She's been read her rights and she signed the waiver.
That signature's genuine.
All right. Now, we know this is your first offense, Miss Hall. Quite frankly, we're more interested in the people you're involved with rather than throwing the book at you. Mike Albin is out of business, but you're in action. Who are you getting your orders from now?
You mean you want me to squeal on somebody?
Call it cooperating. It could be a two-way street. No guarantees, no promises, but the court will know that you helped.
Look, I mean, well, I don't have very much respect for myself right now. But I'm sure I'd have a whole lot less if I were to turn on the people who've been good to me.
I'd say your definition of good is a little twisted.
Well, you don't know
We
it.
know your assignment on this last trip. 4 banks in San Bernardino, 4 more in Riverside, $40,000. How much of that was supposed to be kept for yourself?
2,000.
Instead, you may be out 10. Plus 10 years of prime time. Now, suppose you tell us again about those people who've been good to you.
Miss Hall, those bonds you had have been traced to a series of burglaries in Baltimore. Turning up out here means a big operation, organized crime.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Somebody does. We want to meet him.
I'm meeting him in Phoenix tomorrow.
Kramer.
Harold Todd Kramer, a real swinger. Single, 36. That check out?
She told you the truth. He never put his college degree or the money his father left into much use. Check shows he pays his bills. Looks like he's still living on family money, all right. Just a question of whose family. Kramer took her out of a short skirt in a downtown bar and got her in a first-class country club as a hostess. Miller tells me she wasn't all that sure about letting you in.
No.
Well, you got one thing going for you. It'd be hard for her to get cold feet in this climate.
Let's have a cup of coffee.
I'm just nervous.
Thought you said he didn't suspect anything.
Oh, not that. I mean, it's just hard. He was good to me in a way, you know. And he made me laugh again. He's a lot of fun and I like him. Everybody likes him.
Well, not the taxpayers footing the bill for all that fun.
Turn left up here.
We got a check on Kramer's toll calls. They show regular contact with Las Vegas. Is there anything you've seen look like that might be his source?
No. No, it could be Vegas. I know it gets heavy there. And I did meet a friend once who said he was from there.
Remember the name?
No. I'm terrible at names. By the way, I've never asked you, is yours really O'Hara?
We had a deal, remember? All the cards on the table face up. That includes names.
Trusting me, aren't you?
To do yourself a favor. It's about time.
I guess he knew what would happen to me when he gave me this job, didn't he? Rubbing elbows with millionaires, having club privileges, feeling like I needed more money, better clothes.
Sounds like you're getting to know him better.
And myself. I'm not just nervous. I'm scared stiff.
Maybe it's time you started trusting me. Let's go. Stick to our game plan.
Jim O'Hara, Todd Kramer. Louise asked me to say hi. You play tennis?
Well, not as much as I'd like to.
She also said we're in the same line of work.
Did she?
She even thought we might be able to do some business. You ever handle bonds? You think you can handle something like 25 grand now?
If the price is right.
20% is 5,000. You got it?
And 15% is $37.50. That's your deal.
Wait a minute.
All you do is pass the paper from your left hand to your right. Now you tell me that isn't a good percentage, I'll spot you 2 sets out of the best of 5 down there.
All right. Deal. Listen, I'm having some friends over this afternoon at my place. You and Louise might like it. And you can check out the merchandise at the same time.
That sounds good.
How about a couple of sets?
I'll catch the tab and change and meet you down there.
Muchísimas gracias, señor O'Hara.
Yeah, well, the service wasn't that good, Daniel. Call Griffith and tell him I'll need some pre-recorded bills tonight. 3,750. We gotta buy. Quite a party. See any familiar faces?
Hi. Oh, just some people from the club. And some of the girls that work for him, like I did. I think...
What does that job pay? Let's have a drink. Scotch all right?
With a little water.
Kramer around?
No. But I do see someone. That guy I told you about. From Vegas.
Two Scotch and water.
Louise, you don't remember?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. We were both with someone else. Johnny Winters.
Oh, of course, yes. I'd like you to meet Jim O'Hara.
How'd he do? Todd around?
Yeah, someplace. Are you enjoying the desert?
It's fine what I've seen of it.
You haven't spent much time in it, have you?
Is my face that red?
You gotta watch that sun. Take it slow, especially in front.
I remember.
No reason for anyone to get burned. An ounce of prevention, you know what I mean?
You a doctor?
Well, that depends on what needs curing. I like to look out for things for people like Toddy Boy.
Seems to be doing all right.
Very well. Want to keep it that way. Well, I just wanted to say hello. Okay?
He is part of it, isn't he?
There's your answer.
Do you think he knows anything?
Just what he saw. A new face. A sunburned one. Don't go jumping in the pool. We may be leaving soon.
Jim, I didn't see you come in. I had to take a phone call up the house.
It's good timing. Who's he?
Oh, now wait a minute.
No, you wait a minute. This isn't my first time around. I've been checked before. Now, unless your man has some objection, I'd like to get down to what I came for.
There's no need to get hot.
I can cool off real quick.
Hi, Charlie. Look, there's no problem. I just couldn't get the bonds. The source was out, but he promised it in 2 days.
2 days, I'll be in Acapulco.
Now, look, Jim, hold on.
Thanks for your drink. Louise?
What's the matter? Don't you like parties?
I was surprises I want to make on a guy named Winters, Johnny Winters.
Ahead of you. Saw him come out.
And?
Not much on him. Could be Vegas muscle. He's never been nailed, but there's been a couple of funerals lately. Figures he could have arranged. He giving you trouble?
Not yet. Thanks. You're right. It gets heavy.
Does this mean you're not going through with it?
Not with my eyes closed. I'll drop you off and we'll see if they contact me at the motel.
Fill the material. Clean. License, too. Before you leave, count 'em.
Hello.
Nothing's missing, O'Hara.
So I noticed.
Wait 10 minutes. Then bring the money in the bar downstairs.
Winters. Hi. You bring the bonds? You alone?
Yes,
Who picked the table?
I did. I just came in and sat down. A man brought these to me just after you dropped me off at the apartment. He put me in a cab and told me to come here and wait for you. And he said if you didn't come in, I was to leave. without contacting you.
If I did, you were to accept payment.
Yes.
Well, that's neat. You're the only one involved.
Oh, Jim, please don't think...
No, I don't. But there's no way they're going to leave us alone with this. Even though they'd like me to think so, to figure I've finally been accepted.
Do you want me to take the money to them?
No. If I'm in, it's time to get you out. It can get rough from here on. How's your right cross?
Why? I'm left-handed.
See, I didn't like the girl I'm dating being used to do their work. So I got insulting. Now I'm going to toss these back to you. Then I want you to hit me with everything you've got. Take the envelope and get up to go. Ready? Here.
Jim!
No, you did everything just right. And we do have company.
Oh, that's company I'll be glad to stop keeping.
Well, you only have one more job. Find something to cry about.
It's the easiest thing you've asked me to do yet.
We're not running out of booze. There's a bars open all night long. Just you gotta go get it, that's all. You can walk, can't you? Hey, listen, excuse me. Have fun now. Hey, how are you? Huh? What's wrong?
Inside. Oh, Kramer, with all your checking and double checking, you don't know me at all.
Jim, wait a minute.
You had more time than you're worth. I don't like being rousted.
You don't understand. It wasn't my idea. I don't have control over who gets cut in. We got a good thing, Jim. Don't blow it. If they passed on you...
I don't need that kind of action.
Look, come over here. Let me explain something to you. This is big. It's bigger than anything you've ever been in on. Sure, it's a pain, but after that, everything's controlled the same way, and it pays off. And there are no slip-ups.
Nothing's that safe. At some point, it comes down to just you and the jungle. I figure it's better to make it that way from the start.
Look, that stuff you have there. Keep it on consignment. Pay me what you think it's worth after you see how it lays down.
If I get nailed, you'll be out a lot of bread.
A fortune. Because that's what you and I can make together on this setup. We think the same way, Jim. We like the same things. We should be going along in the same direction. Branching out, maybe, but not splitting off. Give it one shot.
Okay. No strings. Winters counted it. See you in a couple of weeks.
What about Louise?
Any broad that plays the party line as well as she does can find her own way home. Adios.
Lady said thanks, O'Hara.
Where is she now?
We offered to bring her here to L.A., but she's got a sister in Albuquerque. She'll stay with her in OR until trial.
What about Winters?
He's hard to put into place. He's in with so many people, but we're on it.
You think I can get next to him with a bigger buy?
Doesn't look like he's the end of the line either. Probably just a watchdog on a retainer. I think you better show him that map, Doug.
Yeah. Now, since you've been on this with Glenn, we've had heavy hits. Washington, Oregon, Montana, Utah, Colorado, all through the West. All traced back to the East. Bonds and IDs. Same keen attention to detail. Same cool, well-trained passers.
Well, it's quite a network.
Yeah, we got every office on it, but you're the first man to tie in.
How much do you think it'd take to get past Kramer?
Something big. 200,000.
You're taking this high roller act pretty serious.
It's taken me. I've been meaning to speak to you about my expense account.
Yeah, Glenn showed me the checks. Tell you what, you break this case, we may even reimburse you.
Just so I don't lose incentive, how much is the department worth these days? In round figures.
That's a bundle. I don't know if I can handle it.
Because of the rates?
200,000. Hate to think of the points they're going to ask on top of my regular volume.
Who do we talk to?
Move it, honey. You know, if you're really serious about something that big, maybe there's another road to consider.
I'm just starting to get with the one we're on.
No, same setup, same people, different product. Counterfeit.
Too big a hassle. Anything over a 20's too hard to push. Anything under takes too long.
Not what I was offered. U.S. Treasury notes, 10,000 each.
And you passed?
Well, I just wasn't sure. I'd never moved anything like that. How about you?
Yeah, once I got hold of some hot ones. Never been that lucky again.
You think you could find some takers?
Where's the phone?
You're serious?
You put me in touch with the source, you got yourself a nice fat finder's fee without getting out of that chair.
What could you move?
What's available?
I was told $1 million.
There should be no problem. If they're any good, I'll check.
Let's say 5 points to me.
2. And I'll get on it right after I swing by the club. I want to see Louise.
I thought you knew. She took a leave.
That must have been right after I phoned her to say I was coming back.
Well, she's a good kid. But like they say, it's a big ocean.
Howdy.
Hi, good morning.
You see this? Those facts you gave me checked out with the dope from back east. The informant there isn't in a position to help out, but he says there is a blast of notes on tap. The whole department's looking at you to stop it.
Those are pretty long odds.
Still all we got going. Any word yet on when you make contact?
This afternoon.
Any names?
No. How far do I go?
We're broke. If you can't deal direct with the top man, at least try to draw a bead on him. Oh, and don't worry about going in blindfolded. We got you covered. Across the board. I'll be seeing you.
If I had a compass, what do you think it'd say right now?
Due east. Well, we'll let somebody else get us there.
New York.
Gotta get you out of the sun for a while.
Some castle. Who's the host?
Hostess. Mrs. Jacqueline Wells.
Mr. O'Hara. How do you do?
Mrs. Wells?
Todd, good to see you again. Johnny, love, I hate to do this to you, but I got this message about 10:30. Lee can drive you back in. You have a seat on Flight 89.
Well, at least on this operation, you know everything is first class.
Thank you, Johnny.
Anytime. Gentlemen.
I'd offer you a drink, but it is late. If you'll follow me, your rooms are ready.
Excuse me, I didn't know we were staying.
Just a few days, Mr. O'Hara. Until the merchandise you wanted to see is ready.
Well, I'm traveling kind of light.
I think you might find everything you'll need. If not, just let me know.
Good morning. Todd? Just coffee.
Sleep well? Any complaints?
Everything is first class.
Thank you. Todd was just telling me you've been friends for a long time.
Yes, how long's this been now, Jim, since Miami?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have one of those.
Sure. Just about 5 years, I think, give or take a couple of 3 months.
Old times get old. You don't want to bore the lady.
No, thank you. Todd, I wonder if you'd do me a favor. It's an old friend's birthday, and I thought perhaps a new golf bag might be nice. Would you try to get into the village sports shop whenever it opens and pick out whatever looks best to you?
And maybe I'd better do that for you.
I like to think I can trust Todd's judgment, Mr. O'Hara.
Well, see you for lunch.
I'd like some more coffee, please, Mr. O'Hara. Thank you. How long have you known Todd?
1 month, one deal.
Why would he say otherwise?
He's scared.
Of what?
The big leagues.
You're not?
I've been up before. I'll be up again.
You could have corroborated his story. I might not have seen through it.
Say that again with a straight face, Jacqueline. Nice bag.
Where's the lady?
Seeing to lunch. And undoubtedly keeping an eye on me from one of those windows. Tell me about him.
How'd you get all this?
Yeah, that'll do for a start.
Married.
He worked this side of the street?
Wells? Old respected name, old respected man. He lasted 8 months.
And why is she involved when she already has everything?
Except a guy. There's a rumor that she's hung up on number 1.
And who might that be?
She made it very clear that I should never ask. I don't think it's Mason, though.
Who?
Walter Mason. You'll meet him this afternoon.
Did you bring the samples?
Mind if I finish my drink and enjoy the lady's company a bit first, Irish?
You can do both while I look at the notes.
I'd like to see them too, Walter.
What do you think, Jim?
He's never seen better.
Made here?
I guess that really doesn't concern you, now does it?
No, I was just wondering. He's right, I've never seen better. Who do I deal with?
I'll keep the books. Walter will make the arrangements.
Todd said you had $1 million. I got takers for all of it at 10%.
I could make that deal any place.
I'm talking now.
You're talking all the time, Irish. Too much and too fast.
Walter. You have the money now?
This afternoon.
I think the price is right.
Okay. But you better be right too, Irish.
Are the keys still in that convertible?
Yes.
I'll be back. Tell your friend it's impolite to point. This is Jim O'Hara of the Los Angeles office. Put me through to Paul Conrad. It's an emergency.
Yes, sir. One moment, please.
O'Hara.
Yeah, Paul, this is my first shot at a phone. I got a lot for you, but I don't know if I can get it to you.
Why not?
That two guys look like they want to talk. I thought I shook them, but...
You did.
Well, then...
Ours. The young one is Agent Quint. The one with the smile is Agent Rose. Say hello and then get your bones in here.
I thought I was missing in action. What's my next move?
Find out how much they've printed. If it's feasible, make a pitch to buy everything they've run off. That way, we might be able to keep any of it from hitting the street.
If it's too big.
Well, the one buy still gives us enough to nail everybody you've dealt with so far.
Doesn't give us the king of the hill.
How do you know that isn't Queen?
Jacqueline Wells?
But the exchange still has to be made at her estate.
Ground rules.
It makes it tough to get men in close enough to wrap it up once you blow your cover and bust them.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought of that.
Well, what about your ID and gun?
No, keep it. They may shake me down.
How much money you have to take back with you today?
None.
None? But isn't that why they let you go for a ride today?
Yeah, but suppose I don't like being kept on a leash. Suppose I'm so mad about it, they'll have to appease me.
And they just might let you set another place with me.
Like where?
Room 14, Beacon Motel, 580 West 15th Street.
How's the phone service there?
We'll have a man on the switchboard. If they call Mr. Big, we'll find him before he answers.
Well, at least it's a home game in our own ballpark. No, of course I didn't bring the money.
But we have the paper.
I don't carry pocket change when I know there's a couple of hard cases glued to my tail.
What difference did that make? You shook them.
I couldn't be sure I wouldn't pick them up again. And how do you know?
They were my men.
That does it. I want them out of the deal.
Jim, no.
No, I want them out of the deal.
I can't.
Now, who are you kidding?
We both get our orders from the same place.
Right, who and where?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, come off it, Irish. Those men were there to protect you, not to roll you.
I don't believe you, Mason.
All right, I had orders to keep an eye on you. The boss likes to be sure.
Now, Todd did all the checking that was necessary in Phoenix. Didn't you tell them?
Well, yes, I told
It won't happen next time.
Next time, I set the time and the place.
He won't hold still for
Well,
that.
then you just tell him how you blew the deal, all right?
Well, I can see what he'll say,
There's
but...
something else, Jim. My part in this. It's not what you think.
I mean, I'm just the front. This whole place. All transactions are made here, all exchanges. It's how he stays clean. Change it and I'll be out of it. He won't need me anymore.
Well, what's a couple of thousand to you one way or another?
It's not the money. I mean, it's the excitement. You understand. I'd be bored to death without it.
Well, Jacqueline, you're just going to have to get your kicks at another location.
Where?
You'll know when we get there. You can report in. There's a phone.
Please, Jim.
No. We're going to leave now. That way we can all watch each other. Bring the briefcase.
I got too much time invested in this to let you mess it up.
Now, isn't this better?
Don't push your luck, Irish.
Please, Jim, let's get it over
How
with.
long do we have to wait before the money gets here?
It's here.
But you said we...
I brought you to it. Now, maybe we can get down to business and stop playing games. Hey, you ought to have some more of that paper ready to move by now, shouldn't you?
Why?
Maybe I can bump the offer.
Well, there's another 5 being finished today. That's everything for now.
How's 8% for all of it?
I don't know.
Here, find out.
I'll use the booth.
I thought we were through playing games.
This phone leaves tracks. The one outside doesn't.
Now, let's save time, Todd. Count it.
You got a deal. He wants you to pick the stuff up.
Me?
You know where.
Now make it quick, okay? I want both of you to take it very easy. United States Treasury, Secret Service, you're under arrest.
What the?
Jim, wait a minute.
Take it easy. Just take it easy.
Huh?
All right, read them their rights.
Quint's tailing the woman.
This is 61.
60, go ahead.
Subject is parked in front of 708 South 34th Street and is entering building. We're covering it front and rear.
What kind of a place is it?
Just what you're looking for. A print shop.
Please, darling, there was nothing else to do. I tried everything.
Not everything, Jacqueline. Otherwise, you wouldn't have disobeyed orders. When I told you I wanted the exchanges made at your place, I had a reason for it.
It'll be all right, Johnny. You checked him out yourself.
Stop pawing me!
Oh, darling, I'm...
All right, hold it right there, Secret Service. Get your hands where I can see. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Now, turn around slow.
Lady, move away from him.
No. Johnny! 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 No.
He'll need an ambulance. Let's get him out of here.
That's what it was. I knew there was something about you. I've been living in a waste paper world so long, I forgot what an original looked like.
How old would you say she is?
Late 40s.
I suppose you know what I'm thinking about.
Well, you got headed off at the pass.
Soon enough, you think?
It depends on how you take what the judge says.
Soon enough.
Thank you.